Narendra Modi, the Vishwaguru, the great leader, the one who will bring Viksit Bharat, the man with the 56-inch chest, spelled M.O.D.I. Four letters that have come to define India's political landscape, but not in the way you might think. It stands for misinformation, opacity, distractions, incompetence. That's the real meaning of Modi today. Strip away the media hype, the stadium rallies, the WhatsApp forwards soaked in nationalism, and what you're left with is a system rotting from within, propped up by slogans and crushed under silence. Narendra Modi's image as a decisive, visionary leader has been carefully constructed over years. But behind that mask is a reality far more sinister. A reality where facts are optional, accountability is absent, and public memory is replaced with propaganda. Let's take a look at big spender Narendra and expose his lies. Let's start with M for misinformation, because nothing fuels this regime more than lies dressed up as patriotism. India under Modi has become a factory of fake news. Not just the random uncle on Facebook sharing edited videos, but coordinated disinformation campaigns, often backed by government-aligned media and troll armies. Whether it's inflating GDP numbers, claiming miraculous COVID recoveries, or sharing old military footage as fresh victories against Pakistan or China, the truth is constantly bent, twisted, or buried. Remember the Balakot airstrike in 2019? Touted as a massive success against terror camps in Pakistan, it became a centerpiece of Modi's election campaign. But where was the proof? Independent satellite imagery later showed the target site virtually untouched. No confirmed militant casualties. Yet it didn't matter. The narrative had already served its political purpose. And look at GDP numbers. Modi and his government changed the base year and methodology for calculating GDP, which pushed the growth rate up by 2% overnight. Sounds fishy. But the kicker is that he chose to inflate GDP numbers even more by adding cow dung sales. Arvind Subramanian, a former chief economic advisor of Modi's government, has admitted that India's GDP was overestimated by 2.5% per year from 2012 to 2017. And look at the COVID pandemic. Modi declared victory over COVID in early 2021, patting himself on the back at global summits. Then the Delta wave hit. Hospitals collapsed. Bodies floated in their so-called holy rivers. Crematoriums ran out of wood. And while the country burned, the government kept pushing headlines about how India was doing better than the West. Misinformation wasn't a mistake. It was a tool. Now let's talk about O for opacity. Because if Modi's government is good at anything, it's hiding behind a wall of secrecy. RTI requests, ignored. Press conferences, Modi has never held a single open press conference in over a decade as prime minister. And when he visits other countries and is asked questions by foreign journalists, he just gives the bare minimum answer or doesn't even respond. Try asking about the costs of the controversial Central Vista project in Delhi, or the details of PM Cares, supposedly a fund to help during emergencies. What you get instead are blacked out documents, silence, and a shrug. If you look at my channel shorts, you will see him speaking gibberish to former Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy. It's hard to find this video online because it's humiliating for him, just an example of his opacity. Transparency has become a joke. Institutions that are supposed to hold the government accountable, the Election Commission, CBI, even the judiciary, are increasingly compromised or silenced. Investigations conveniently stall when they involve BJP leaders. Critical voices get slapped with sedition or UAPA charges. What's democratic about a system where truth is locked in a cabinet and the key thrown away? And it's hypocritical because Modi, Palki, and their horde of angry Indian netizens love to boast and brag about being the world's largest democracy. On to D for distractions, because whenever things go wrong, the Modi playbook is simple. Don't fix the problem, just change the subject. India's economy is in crisis? Talk about changing the name of a Mughal-era road. Unemployment is at a record high? Arrest a comedian for a joke he didn't tell? Inflation is skyrocketing? Announce a new statue or dig up ancient temple claims? This government has weaponized culture wars to hide its failures. It's all smoke and mirrors. People pointing out the brutality of Kashmir's occupation, shout about inflated GDP figures and how improving the economy is actually good for Kashmiris. The Citizenship Amendment Act, the sudden push for one nation, one election, the hijab bans, the rewriting of school textbooks to erase inconvenient parts of history. These are not policy debates. They are distractions designed to inflame emotions and manufacture outrage, so no one asks real questions. And who could forget the one distraction they always fall back on, blame Pakistan for everything? Insurgencies rising up in Kashmir? Pakistan's fault. China developing the Oxide Chin region? Must be working with Pakistan. A tsunami hit Tamil Nadu? Secret underground Pakistani water weapon. And finally, I for incompetence. Because for all the PR machinery and photo ops, this government can't govern its way out of a wet paper bag. Let's look at the economy. Modi promised to make India a $5 trillion economy by 2024. That goal is a distant fantasy now. They are at $3.6 trillion. Growth is sluggish. Youth unemployment is a ticking time bomb. Over 45% of young graduates are jobless. The much-hyped Make in India program, a flop. Manufacturing as a percentage of GDP hasn't budged. Foreign investors are pulling out and domestic industry is stifled under policy uncertainty and bureaucratic chaos. Demonetization was sold as a bold anti-corruption move. It wiped out savings, crushed small businesses, and killed over 100 people who died standing in ATM lines. Corruption? Still alive and thriving. Black money? Not returned. Cash in circulation? Higher than before. And let's not forget India's foreign policy clown show. Modi claims to be a global statesman, but his grandstanding has backfired. China has crept into Indian territory in Ladakh, and despite loud denials, satellite imagery shows they're still there. But instead of action, we get silence. Pakistan is used as a punching bag before every election. Meanwhile, India's neighbors are pivoting toward China, and the global south increasingly sees New Delhi as unreliable, more interested in chest thumping than cooperation. The West, Russia, and ASEAN all see India as a two-faced snake who flip-flops on foreign policy and plays both sides. Even on climate change and infrastructure, the Modi government is all style, no substance. They talk about green energy while gutting environmental laws. They build vanity projects while basic healthcare remains broken. It's like painting the walls with cow dung while the house is on fire. But here's what's most dangerous. Modi's incompetence is being mistaken for strength. The more he fails, the louder his followers cheer. Because the system now rewards loyalty, not results. Being wrong doesn't matter, so long as you stay on message, chant the right slogans, and never, ever question the leader. And if you do, expect to be called anti-national, expect to be harassed, expect a knock on your door. This isn't just about one man, it's about a political culture that has turned lies into policy, fear into governance, and citizens into spectators. A culture where dissent is treason, history is rewritten, and mediocrity is worshipped. Modi's India is not a rising power, it's a warning. A warning of what happens when a democracy lets itself be hypnotized by slogans, when voters trade critical thinking for blind devotion, when nationalism becomes a substitute for competence. So the next time someone says, Modi is the face of New India, remember what those letters really stand for: misinformation, opacity, distractions, and incompetence. And if you're tired of being lied to, tired of the gaslighting and the glorified failures, then speak up, share the facts, push back against the noise. If you enjoyed this video, then please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.